love is unimportant because loving somebody changes nothing. It doesn't mean they won't hurt you, cheat on you, lie, steal from you, murder you. You may feel love, but how much weight is there on you? I love her, but...
What? You don't believe in love?
I don't, but I believe in the continuous progression of self-improvement in a relationship.
The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2...
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself, and not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donivan Gray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. So I want to start off by giving a shout out to everyone supporting us and the channel. We definitely appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 380 videos on our channel. Cooking tutorials inspired by Dr. Sabi, we got that. Travel lifestyle vlogs, got it. Makeup, got it. Hair growth, got it. Real estate, got it. Basketball, got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will probably be on our story, and you can find me on Instagram at Donivan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. For us, that's the food project, the music project, the clothing project, the fitness project, the sports project, and the Bamboo Project Podcast, which you are listening to right now. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 76 of this story. We have 4 different segments. All right. We have the life update, which is self-explanatory. On the way to creating 1,000 millionaires, we'll have our ups and our downs, and that will all be in the life update. Episode Playback is a recap of last week's episode and the things I could have done better. Then you have Donovan's questions. And the 4th segment is the topic of the day. Now, all video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is August 31st, and it is 5:34 p.m. I'm going to start off with the screen time. The reason why y'all already know. It's a little update reminder for everybody who uses their phone all the time. You probably don't know how long you use your phone or how much you use it. So I'm going to check my phone right now, and we're going to see how often I use my phone. I say this every week, maybe not every week, but I do have some plans to start cutting back on my phone time. Like, I actually have some actionable steps I'm going to take to cut that out. I decided what I'm going to do is to play Call of Duty instead. So that way I don't have to look at my phone and stay on my phone for 8 hours a day. You know, it's a hack. Okay, so Screentime. And okay. Right, settings, go back, screen time. It says it is now. All right. So my daily average. Ooh, listen, I want to say your boy. Let's say Tuesday, your boy killing the game right now. Okay. What was I doing today? I don't know. I might take a nap. All right, here we go. So Sunday, August 29th. What the fuck was I doing that day? Sunday? Were you here? No, it wasn't that day. I don't even know. Oh, I'm gonna find out right now. I was on my phone for 10 hours and 47 minutes on Sunday. That's almost half the day on my phone. That's preposterous. I'm gonna check how that even happened. Monday, it was 9 hours and 8 minutes. And Tuesday, it was 3 hours and 15 minutes on my cell phone.
Tuesday.
That's today. 3 hours and 15 minutes. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I have an idea, but let me. What do you think?
You watch something on the TV instead of on your phone.
I guess. Yeah, that's possible. But I feel like normally by this time I'll be at like 6 hours, 7 hours.
Yeah, what did you do differently?
So, my theory is that today why you squinting your eye, Melissa? I was not cheating. I know you think I was cheating.
I left the house at like 10 a.m.
Yes, you did. I think that my real estate course. So today was the last test. Well, not the last, but one of the last tests for the section, and it's 50 questions long. I took it twice, and I had to do a section before that.
When did you do that?
When you was out on your thing. I think my phone died. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so yeah, so there's that. So I think that took away from it. I also took a nap a little bit when you was here, when we was in the bed. So I don't know how long that was. But I think all of those things together, plus me watching the show, the interview of Long Beach Griffey with No Jumper, took away from that. Took an hour and a half. So there's that. So let me go down the list what we have here. So for today, I was on Safari for an hour or 51 minutes, YouTube 49 minutes, Twitter 44 minutes, Instagram 19 minutes. So I was not on Instagram that much today, which is interesting. Let me see. Yesterday I was on Instagram for an hour and 44 minutes. That's interesting. I wonder what was it? But I was on YouTube for 2 hours and 37 minutes on Sunday. That's crazy. Okay, so this week, it wasn't very action packed, I would say. It's more so a lot of bricklaying. I feel like this week was. One of the things that happened this week that was very important to me was us talking to a lawyer. I don't know if I'll say us. I talked to a lawyer this week, and my uncle has said to me, look, you got to get a lawyer. People feel like, oh, because they could read, they know how to, they can just read the contract and they're good. And that was very impactful to me because many times, even on my story, just, you know, even with the contract that we have gotten, probably even on here, I feel like, okay, I can read this contract. I know what it says. It says we get paid $7 and we got to pay him $5. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense to me. And talking to more lawyers lets me realize that it's not about what's in the contract necessarily. It's more so about what's not in the contract. Also, what's in the contract is important too, because even though I can read, like I can read the word the, remote control, I can read those words. The difference is what those words actually mean in the context of what the contract is about. So I'm learning this more because I've been talking to lawyers, kind of giving them what's going on with the situation in Philadelphia. And I called several lawyers because the first lawyer that we had hired, the one we went to go visit in Philadelphia, I didn't really get the best vibe from him, right? He was in East Allegheny. If people are familiar with Philadelphia, maybe you know about that area. I didn't know about that area until we went there, really. But what I mean is, I watched a video recently about just different areas of Philadelphia. I forgot the guy's channel I was watching. I think it was YSTV, something like that, right? And he does like a really cool, I want to say narration, or like he has like his own, it's like a news channel, but he's like from the hood, like a regular guy, and he just kind of does his take on what's happening in the area. So I think it's cool. So he was talking about some murders that happened on East Allegheny, and I think the crazy part about it is when Melissa and I were driving over there, we've learned through real estate and through driving through different places recently that areas change drastically when you cross a bridge or a highway. Like I'm talking about, you can see on that side, and also a train track, On that side, it's the hood. On this side, it's better. So we were driving to go see this lawyer, and we passed a bridge, and we always joke like, oh, let's see if we pass this bridge, what's gonna happen. We passed the bridge, and instantaneously we're like, oh no, we're in the hood. Like we are definitely in the hood. It's kind of crazy how drastically it can change from block to block, and you can see how now houses aren't taken care of as much. People don't care about the grass growing. I feel like even the colors themselves change also. I feel like you can kind of tell by how the colors look of the place, right? So we went to this lawyer, and when we walked into the law firm's place, or whatever you want to call it, the office, a black guy walked out, and he was young, like our age. And it was kind of odd to me because I was just thinking, I would not expect a young black person to walk out of a law office. And he didn't look like somebody that we filed a lawsuit. He just looked kind of like a regular guy you would just see chilling, playing basketball. So for me, mind you, we're more or less dressed the same way. It was just odd to me. I just not what I expected coming out of a law office. So when I went inside, I talked to the guy, and he did not break. He was like, eye contact was extremely strong, was not blinking, was not looking away, nothing. It was just like, okay, this is kind of interesting. And then when we sat down, he immediately said, it's probably because you're black. Now, I wasn't really sure if whether I believed it or not, but it's what he said. It's possible. I don't know. But I feel like my conversation with a different lawyer gave me a different perspective on what's happening. And the perspective I had from her led me to believe that he's not as professional as I would think or thought he may have been. And also, it seems as though his rate was 20% of whatever we get on the thing. And I think it's interesting because his law firm was in the hood, and I don't know how often people who are lawyers put their law firm in the hood. Like, I'm talking about, this was in the hood. So we had hired him, or we were hiring him to at least send out the paperwork to the guy who owned the property. And he never did. And I was calling him. He only works Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 7. I called at 4. He didn't come in until 5. So he worked for 2 hours. So I'm just kind of like, all this time I'm waiting, you only work 2 hours, 2 days a week for 3 hours each. I can't even get in contact with you. And when I finally get in contact with you, you didn't even you didn't send them any letters. You didn't tell them anything. You didn't do anything this whole time. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This obviously doesn't seem like the best situation. So I'm going to call other lawyers. So I'm calling other lawyers, right? And maybe it's a generational thing for me, but I prefer not to leave messages. This is about to die. So when it comes to when it comes to leaving messages, I just choose not to. I don't know why. Maybe it's like I said, just growing up, we just text now, so I don't really leave hey, this is Donivan Gray. When you get a chance, can you reach me back at whatever? I just don't do that. I'm like, if I call and you don't answer, especially as a profession, I'm like, obviously you didn't want business. Like, somebody should be answering your phone at your office. That's how I look at it. So for whatever reason, I don't know what the reason was. Like I said, I don't do this. I left a message on somebody's phone, right? And I was just like, yeah, I don't know why people don't answer their phone when they have, when you wait for a business. You would just assume that they would answer the phone. So she called me back like 3 days later, right? So we're on the phone talking. Now, people may or may not know this, but I have a soft spot in my heart for lawyers, right? And I don't know if it's maybe it's the what would you call that? It's maybe the word on word competition. It's the back and forth, the logical back and forth. And people think of logical as what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. But there's actually books on what logic is. Like, you can Google a logical sentence. What is a logical phrase? And what is an illogical phrase? There's actually a formula for those things. So I get excited when I'm talking to lawyers and we have that back and forth, right? Or anybody for that matter, when we have that back and forth. So I'm on the phone with her. It's pretext what's happening. To me, it's like a competition of words. It's just fun to go back and forth about this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. Now, on the podcast last week, right, I talked about how a lot of times when I talk to people, because I feel like they shut down when I talk to them, I've conditioned myself to not say what I'm thinking. And I try and work around that, because I know once I say what my thoughts are, the conversation normally ends, because the person will either cop a plea and go, oh, it wasn't me, whatever, or they just stop talking. So I told myself I'm going to work on that, because that isn't for me. That doesn't help me, because I don't get an answer what I'm trying to say. And then also I feel like I'll end up working with people that don't fit my business style. So I'm on the phone with this woman, right? And I call lawyers. I've called them. And I just asked them a question, because they have free consultations normally. And I said, okay, I just want to kind of understand. And you know something too? I don't know if I told you this. I don't know. This is the issue I be having. This is why I be feeling, I don't know. I went on her page, right? On her lawyer page, and it says that she does free consultations, but she charged me.
Yeah, because she felt like what she gave you was more than a free consultation. Was more than she would give in a free consultation. That's what she said.
Really? Because I thought she said that a consultation with her is normally $750.
She said that after the free consultation, if you choose to bring her on, it gets added on to the tab after the fact.
Okay. I guess. Okay. So, I also gonna need a charger for this too, for the laptop soon. Just giving you heads up. So I normally call the lawyers and I say, hey, this is my question. I ask them, if a person signs a contract and they put their name at the bottom and they don't initial on the top pages, can I sue for that? Right? That's normally what I ask. And the thing about that question is, for people who are lawyers, they probably hear this and might laugh. So, like I said, I feel like she was very informative when it came to this situation. Because when I asked her that question, she was kind of responding to me saying, that's not how contracts work. It's not about whether you can sue somebody for it. You can sue somebody for anything. It comes down to, is it enforceable? Is the contract void? There's a lot of things that I like to hear, because it means that you know what you're talking about. And I feel like other lawyers were like, yeah, we could do that. Sure, we could do that, right? So, like I said, about 5 minutes ago, I have been working on trying to break my conditioning of being too nice, right? Of conditioning myself to not say what I'm thinking. I'm working on that. In situations where I believe what I'm saying is true. So while we're talking, she's asking me very direct questions, right? Almost as if she's reading them off of a paper, right? So she's asking me questions almost like an interrogation. How long is the lease? Where did they sign? What's the address? What part of Philadelphia is it? Just did they say you could do this? Did they not say you do it? What exactly is your business? What's the name, right? So my thing is this. I'm calling you and you still have not answered my question. I called you for one specific question and you haven't answered it. And then because I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say, because I was being more vocal about what I was thinking, it kind of got combative on the phone, right? Now, it got to a point where I'm like, no, listen, what you're doing right now is unacceptable, because I'm asking you a question and you're not answering my question. You're asking me a series of questions that don't relate to what I called you about. And she was saying that it's a very black and white case. That was her thing. It's a very black and white. There's no reason to go any further. It's a black and white thing, right? And I'm like, no, it's gray. It's not a black and white thing. It's a very gray situation. So the whole time she's telling me, no, it's black and white. It's black and white. So as I start explaining it to her, she's now like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's not, oh, I'd expect that, right? So now I'm like, yes, I was trying to tell you this before, that is not a strict black and white situation. But normally when I know that I'm right about something, I'll just be like, all right, you know what? I know that I'm right. I'm not going to try and tell you that I'm right. That's what I try to do. But this time I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm like, no, you're wrong. Like, this is not that, what you're doing is not acceptable. Right. So this ended up turning into us going back and forth about law, going back and forth about the actual situation. She was telling me that a lot of times people call her and they say one thing about the contract. She gets the contract and finds out something different. That's why she asks certain questions. So I'm like, listen, I understand that. But what the issue that I have with you is you did not give me a chance to explain what the issue was. You just started asking me specific questions as opposed to hearing what I had to say. And then you could tell me or ask me the question based off of what that was. Because if you had let me say what I was going to say when I called, you would have had to ask these questions. That was my argument, right? So here's the crazy thing about all of this. We were on the phone talking, and I'm talking about like heated conversation, like very intense, heated conversation between me and this woman. The great thing about this phone call is I don't feel like it ever got to a point where it was disrespectful or emotional. And I think the thing about that is we were able to still continue talking about the case as if we weren't just having a heated dialogue about the same thing. And that goes to show me that, okay, I can talk to you how I feel. Like, I can say and be my true self without having to worry about you buckling under this conversation. And that's somebody that I want to work with, because if, let's say we go out, I have a case that I want to bring to her, right? And I tell her what I think about it, which is kind of similar to this. I don't have to worry about her like the other lawyer being like, yeah, we can do that, don't worry about it. Or the other lawyer who called us and I asked him questions. He's like, oh, I don't know. I just talked to them, somebody else. I don't need that. I need you to say, Donivan, that's not how that works. It don't work like that. And I'm going to say, I think it does work like that. And I'm going to give you a reason. And then you say to me, well, you're wrong because this is how it works. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Now I understand. Without either one of us having to be like, I don't want to be like, okay, yeah, you know, yeah, I know I was right, but I just want to say it in a way that made you feel no. So we're talking about this situation, right? We were on the phone for hours, like several hours on the phone, right? Now, it got to a point where I believe personally that there might be an attraction there. Right? This is what I believe. Am I surprised? No, because look at me, and you guys hear my voice on here, and you guys have heard me speak. So it's like, how could a woman not be attracted to me? Right? Especially someone of her caliber. So we're talking on the phone, and I keep hearing little nuances, like certain breaths are taking kind of long. I can hear different cadences changing and tonality changing during the conversation, different questions and things like that. So I'm like, I think this woman might like me, right? And she was saying some things like she normally works with a lot of young black men very often. I was like, oh really? I'm like, okay. So there's a couple of reasons to me why this phone call was very transformative, might be a good word, or informational, another word too. We talked about more than just the actual case. She was telling me about she takes business classes or business. She takes classes. Her business coach. She's a business coach she goes with. One of the issues we ran into on the phone was this. During the conversation, she said to me, a lot of people offer to pay me for this time. Right? Now, I felt offended by that because I was thinking, that's fine. I don't know why you're telling me that, because this was supposed to be a free consultation. And I asked you multiple times, what's the price that you charge? And you never gave me an answer. So I kept asking, what's the price? What's the price? What's the price? And she just never gave me an answer. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Mind you, I'm thinking, as in the past, free consultations. So then she brings up later towards the end of the phone call, at least what I thought was the end of the phone call. She was like, yeah, most people or people in the past have paid me for this. I charge $7.50 an hour. You don't have to pay me. Like, you don't have to pay me anything, or you could. Like, it's up to you what you want to do. Right. So I'm like, I felt, you know what? I wasn't going to pay anything at first because that was not my intention. However, we were on the phone for 3 hours and she told me she gave me a lot of great information that will save me money down the line. I'm going to get into that later. So I'm like, okay, I understand how value works, and I do feel like you gave me value, and I can give you value back in the form of monetary funds at this point. So I said, I'm not doing $7.50. I'll give you half. That's what I said, right? And she's taken back by that because she was offended by the way that I said it. She was like, you're not valuing what I gave you, so I'd rather you not pay me anything than pay me the half of $7.50, whatever that number is. And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna pay you. I think that's what it's worth to me. Just because you put a dollar amount on at $7.50 don't mean that that's what it means to me. So normally these are things I would not say to a person I'm doing business with, because I know that it normally ends in some type of emotional response. It normally ends in like some type of argument or something. So I normally just avoid these things. But I'm like, nah, you're not about to just tell me $7.50 and I'll pay $7.50 just because you just sprung it on me. And then it turned into more of a philosophical conversation about the exchange of value. And because of my recent therapy phone calls, I was trying to understand, am I treating this, is there something about this that's triggering me, right, to respond the way that I am? And she gave me a bunch of different terms, and she was like, oh, I don't know why you responded the way you did to that. I don't know if you feel like I did this or that. I don't know why you're doing that. And she said one of the things was a bait and switch, right? And I said, normally, because it's a conversation and it's more so like a competition, I would just be like, you know what, this is what it is. This is the reason. Like, I'm not going to say it's what you told me, it's because of this. So I said, you know what, I do feel like it was a bait and switch. I've been trying to get more in touch with, I've been trying to get more in touch with my emotions. So I said, I do feel like it was a bait and switch. I feel like when I called, it was not supposed to be a paid phone call. I feel like you knew that, and I feel like you also decided to bring that on me later during the phone call, and I don't like that. So she tried to reassure me it wasn't a bait and switch, and she tried to tell me what the situation was, right? And she was saying that it was her response to me was about how I said it. Me saying I'll just give you half, she was saying, well, where'd you come up with that number? Like, what's the value that you put on that number? Is this a number you just said just to say, or do you actually feel like that's what I gave you? Do you feel like I gave you $3.75 worth of value? And she said to me that if I had said to her, I forgot the exact phrase. He just said, can I do $3.75 or will you take $3.75? She said that she would have been okay with that. She said that would have been a better way to put that, because it's not necessarily that at that point about the competition of it. It's more about, okay, I do value what you gave me. And that was my thing, was I agreed with her. So I said, okay, I'll do 75. So we kept going back and forth about it for like another, 45 minutes sort of, right? And we started talking about her business coach. We started talking about, life lessons that she's had in the past. We started talking about just the, real estate and things that I'm doing. And we talked about where Melissa is from, and she's from Far Rock. It was just like a lot of different things that weren't necessarily about the contract. We also talked about the contract itself, which is why I agree that paying her is not a problem to me, because I agree that it's worth something that she gave me. It's very valuable. Some of the things that she said to me were, it's a possibility that we could sue for each month of the lease that we are not in the place. So let's say the lease was $6,000 a month for 24 months. That would be, let me see the math on that. 6,000 times 24. That would be $144,000, right? So if that's an option, I'm like, sure, I would definitely go with that. But she tried to give me her rates, and I was like, I can't, we're not doing that. But I'm like, if there's an option to make $144,000 on this, I will pursue that. She said that she thinks I should be more trustworthy, and she feels like how I handle the situation with them and what I think about the situation is not the best way to go about it. So she said that it may not be about race, because I told her what the other person said, right? And she said to me, I don't think that's it. And she broke down why she thinks that's not it. She said, look, it sounds to me like they were very scared about what's going on. It sounded like they just panicked and they didn't know what to do, and they chose any way to get out of the contract, right? Now, I like that as a answer, because me walking into a place and you telling me that the contract was voided because I'm black is not I wouldn't say it's the most professional thing, but that's what he said. So I took that as a lawyer who's been doing this in that area. I figured, okay, maybe he has some insight onto this. But she said, look, I don't think it's that. And my issue with how he handled it, I said, I don't find him to be a person of integrity, because you signed this contract, you knew the laws on the contract, and then on this business model, and then you didn't call me yourself. You had your friend who turned out to be your lawyer call me. When I asked him if he represented you, they said no, he's just a guy calling me just to say no. I'm like, why are you not calling me then? Like, I don't like that. If you feel like you did something wrong, you come to me and say, listen, Donivan, I know you signed a lease, this is what's going on, this is what the situation is. And if I start blacking on you, you go, look, I'm calling you to let you know that this is I'm going to do this. Now, you don't have to be okay with it, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm just doing out of respect. I'm calling you and telling you that, right? That's how I looked at it. And she was like, well, you have to get out of that. That's not something that you shouldn't be approaching situations like that. When it comes to business, it's not about integrity. That's what you're trying to tell me. It's not about integrity. And I'm like, I don't want to work with somebody that I don't deem to be integral. Right? Or have integrity. So, mind you, she explained all the laws to me that she was actually looking up. She was looking up the laws while we were on the phone. So she's telling me that she thinks the reason why they will not be able to do it in Philadelphia is because of the zoning that they're about to implement with the new law. The zoning says you have to get a building variance. So for people who are not into real estate, let's say your house is zoned for like a single family or something like that, right? That's a residential single family home. A variance means you have to go to the city and have them switch the zoning of your house to be, let's say, commercial zoned and single family, or it has to be limited lodging and single family, things like that. But it's not just okay, I'm going to fill this out. It's like you have to go through a process of getting your house rezoned. And she was saying that she thinks that will be the issue that people have to deal with going forward, because a lot of owners are not the ones doing the Airbnb. It's other people who are doing it. So now the owner will have to go to the city to get a permit or to get the house zoning changed. Also, it said that a natural person has to reside in the house to be able to run a limited, what is it called? Unlimited housing, limited lodging business in that property. So you have to live in the house. You can't have a company doing it. You have to live in the house. But we live here in New York, so that would not work for us to be able to run a business like that over there. So she was saying that she thinks a lot of this will get hung up on the zoning of it. So that's very valuable, because now not only do we not have this property, the property that we just bought, now we're thinking about we might sell it as opposed to running an Airbnb out of it. Because at this point, it seems like if zoning is going to be an issue, because not only is it just the house zoning, it seems like the area has to be zoned properly for you to even do that. And that's going to be another issue, because now you're telling me that they might have a situation where you can only have a certain amount of these businesses in that area. And I think I've seen that in Denver, Colorado, where let's say in like a 4-block radius, you can only have 6 people running Airbnb. That's not a place I want to start a business like that. Now I have to go by how many you allow me to have. That's crazy. So now it's like, is it even worth doing? So now we're thinking about if he should just sell it or not and take the money, do something else with it. That's where we at now, right? So we're talking more throughout the phone call, and like I said, it came down to me kind of sleeping on it over the weekend and figuring out what I want to do with the house. Like what is going to happen? Do we want to pursue this case? Do we not? What are the different options that we have? So the more we talked, I felt like $500 was a reasonable amount to pay her. It's higher than $375, and I felt like $500 was a place where she didn't get the full amount, and I didn't give her what I was comfortable with. So somewhere in the middle, I felt like was a good number. Like, okay, we both feel like we're stretching. You're stretching down, I'm stretching up about what we're comfortable giving in the situation. So I felt comfortable with that. So I ended up paying $500 for that phone call. She added us to her client portal this weekend. So when we do want to do something else in the future, we can go forward. We can use her. Now, this is good to me because, like my uncle said, I think it's very good to have a lawyer because there are a lot of things that we learned from that phone call, and that's only like a 3-hour phone call without her actually doing any research on the thing. So it's good to have, like I said, I think JC said it, you got to always have, what he said, what's the line? I think he said good to have money, but more important is lawyer fees, something like that. And I get that for sure. I understand that because she can definitely save us more money going forward. And I think for me personally, one of the problems that I have is saving money I don't have yet. And it's like, you're telling me that you want me to pay you $2,000 today to save money down the line I don't have yet, and I don't know if I'm going to lose or not. That sounds like a scam to me. That sounds suspicious. I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable putting out, because I'm like, how do I know this actually worked? I don't know. I can't tell. So I don't really like that business model for me. So that's why I'm always hesitant about taking certain precautions, taking certain insurances, especially when the insurance is that high. But since we're dealing with larger purchases, this may be something we have to look into now, because let's say we pay, I think her fees was $2,500 for 3 hours of research. She charges $350 for research after that. I think she said an hour. She charges $1,800, I think, a month for retainer, I believe she said. And no, I think the $1,800 was just to hire her. She has a retainer fee or something else. So these are just amounts that we don't normally pay for insurance. So that's where we at right now with that. So she also said that she might just call the person up, because like I said, the $144,000 thing, it's not a guarantee, and she would have to look over the contract and do research to find out whether or not we could do it. And I don't want to take the risk of researching all of these things to find out that we spent $10,000-$15,000 to find out that she said, yeah, you guys can't get the 144. It's not going to work. So I would pay her for the phone call that she might make, where it's like, she will call their lawyer and then see if we can negotiate, because we spent $4,000, but she said she might sue for damages and more or less settle out of court. Like, okay, let's just settle for $10,000 or $20,000, whatever, and just, everybody just go their separate ways. So I'm like, all right, that's something we could look into. So more around the time, I look into that, and then more so around the time when we sell the house, we'll be, figuring out, okay, what we're gonna do with this. But that's the update with that. That's the life update. Now, a lot of you guys, I don't know who is, probably I can't tell. I have no idea to know. But if y'all watch the channel DK4L, De'Aaron and Ken, I talked about that on here before. They are more or less the main people that made me decide I should try YouTube. This was like several years ago. The girl I was talking to at the time had showed me a video, and it's funny because she didn't even watch them. Somebody sent her the video, and then she sent it to me. So I'm watching it, and I'm just like, bro, how they got more subscribers than Oprah Winfrey's channel? How they got more subscribers than the Breakfast Club? Like, what the heck is this? Like, how is this even possible? And I was just like, they just record themselves in their house? Like, what? That's crazy. Like, what? That's insane. So even though I know now it's not just that, but I just think at that time I was like, I didn't know that there was a market for this. So I started kind of looking more into it, researching and seeing what it would be like to do a YouTube channel and whatnot. So that's who they are. They recently broke up over the last 6 months or so. They came out with a channel. They came out with their own separate channels, and then they put a video on their main channel where they said what I was saying, that they broke up. I'm putting it here because I have a theory about it. They bought some land in Atlanta, right? And I haven't seen the land go for sale, so I'm just curious if they really broke up or not. That's my theory. Because I'm like, y'all bought the land a while ago, so I'm assuming you already started building on the land. Like y'all had already started. I think y'all talked about digging up the hole and putting in systems and whatnot. So did you guys leave that and just sell it, or are you guys keeping it? And if they are keeping it, that leads me to believe that they aren't actually broken up. It seems like they have a situation similar to like other, I want to say Queen and Clarence, where they are currently building out a situation where they each have their own separate income streams in case something like this happens again. So right now they're on a break, and they're gonna kind of do their own thing for a while. King gonna go, fuck a bunch of bitches. De'Ara's gonna probably have sex with like 2 guys or something like that, and then they're gonna just live their life. And then they go, okay, I miss you, let's get back together, right? That's the feeling I get from it, which is fine. They said they've been dating for like 8 or 9 years. As far as I know, they've been dating. As far as I know, they've been together like right out of like high school, I think. Maybe probably like high school. So they don't really have a lot of other people that they were like in serious relationships with, or kind of got to experiment. Not they have money and can do things by themselves. They haven't really got to do those things. So I'm wondering if now is going to be a time where they get to just go do those things, because I think it's hard to know because I don't know them personally, but I was going to say I think Ken likes De'Ara, right? I think he does. I think she does a lot of things that may annoy him, and I think that what probably will happen is he'll deal with a lot of girls who are attractive, but they won't be on De'Ara's level. But I don't know what kind of girls Ken like, so it's hard for me to say. But what I'm getting at is this: I think that this is my theory for the future. I think that De'Ara will come out with some guy that's, like I said, semi-famous at some point. It won't be that serious, and I think at some point her and Kane will get back together. That's what I think. I don't know any other YouTubers that were dating for like that long, for like 8+ years. I know you don't know. I know. I'm just thinking like, I'll say maybe Queen, but that was abusive, so I don't know if they're abusive or not. I don't know of any other superstar type couple that just don't work out anymore. Do you know any like famous people that do that? Maybe like what, Chris Brown and Rihanna, possibly? Would that be it? No? You shook your head no. What does that mean?
I don't think they would have got that long, to be honest.
Wow, that's true. That is very true. You were absolutely right. 8 years is a long time.
Like you said, it's 8 formative years.
Yeah, like y'all were doing a lot. It's this is the main. Yeah, this is your main time. So it's like.
Honestly, they're younger than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think she was 17 and I think he was 18. So, and that, I mean, they kind of knew each other before that. But either way, I just think that it's crazy because I don't know of examples of people who grew up together in a relationship the way they did, that break up and then go to separate ways. So I personally think they're going to come back together. I think they're both going to go out and do what they do separately, have their own fun, come back and have, I think, honestly.
The only person I know is they're not a celebrity.
Okay. It was 8 years, but they weren't dating.
They were the entire time.
I'm talking about these are like serious couple. Like, that's what I'm thinking about.
Formative years.
That's true too. For her, maybe, because it was kind of mid. But I'm thinking like, yeah, I personally think they're gonna get back together. I think they're just gonna figure it out over the next couple of months. I think they're gonna figure out a way to make more money. De'Ara's gonna have her own channel that makes money. He'll have his own channel that makes money. Then they'll come together and post on their main channel. Maybe they'll post vlogs on the main channel when they go on vacation, and then.
We will know in December.
You said in when?
December.
Why you say that? When you move?
No.
Why? What happened in December?
Vlogmas.
Oh, well, I don't think they're about to do vlog. I don't think it's gonna be that soon. I think it's probably gonna be till like maybe next year or a year after that. Because I'm like I said, I think they need. I think it'd be funny too, right? Do you think they still fucking?
Maybe.
I think they still be getting it in.
I don't know. But I don't know how close Deer is to Ken. Like, I don't even know if they're staying in the same place.
I mean, they can live in the same city. That's close enough. You get in the car, you got money. You get in the Uber with your shades on. Nobody got to see you at nighttime. Pull up.
I guess.
Get your cheeks clapped. Go back home.
I guess it's not really necessary to do that.
What do you mean? Why not?
She can talk to somebody else, and he can talk to somebody.
But she loves him. They love each other. That's the thing.
She might love him. I don't know.
Listen, you're probably right about that. You're probably right. Listen, but listen, that's just my.
And she might be fed up.
My theory. She not fed up. But I'm listening. Go ahead.
Or like, she might not want to deal with him right now.
Yes, I agree. Right now.
Yeah.
But
so it sounds like, why would she go to him for a booty call when she can taste all the flavors in the ocean?
Because girls don't really do that.
That's not true.
That's not my experience.
That's not true.
What do you mean?
Especially from like a long-term relationship, you have your little whole phase. You do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And then maybe after like 2-3 guys that's kind of weird, you're like, damn, you don't do this like so-and-so does. Or maybe they might be better. You never know.
I feel like in my experience, most times, girls, I can't say both ways, but I'm going to say girls still have an attachment, right? So there's still a room in there for the guy to like, because it's like, okay, I feel like girls would rather have sex with the same person than different people.
Sure, but she might not want to do that with him right now.
I hear you, but I'm saying that.
Do you think she's gonna hold out until when?
No, not hold out. That's why I think that it's possible that she could still be sneaking over there, because it's like she still is like, okay, how does De'Ara find a new person? How does that happen? How, like, does she just start talking to any guy? Like, how does that work? It's different because Ken cheated, so he could just fuck whatever girl he wants.
I think that there's probably guys that might have been interested in her from before, or guys that she thought was cute and didn't talk to, and now it's kind of like, well.
So do you think she'll just be giving it up to get clapped?
What do you mean?
Do you think she's gonna go, okay, this guy likes me, I'm about to go give it to him? Because at her status.
Damn. I guess she does have a lot more to protect in that sense. Maybe.
That's what I think.
I wouldn't really care.
In terms of, I mean, you sure?
Yeah.
I maybe. Like, who would you? Okay, you're a celebrity. You're in her shoes, right? We break up. What kind of guy would you talk to?
I might have to go to an Equinox or a country club or something. Someone that wouldn't really care.
But I'm saying, so you wouldn't get somebody that has money like you?
That's what I'm saying. Like someone at a country club, at Equinox.
For like $40K a month, $50K a month. Like we talk, like would you get somebody that's like a regular person, or like a higher regular, or like a wealthy rich person?
Higher regular to wealthy rich. Someone that doesn't have that much to gain by, I don't know, posting something about me in the tabloids or something like that. Like, I'll more so look for someone like that. Maybe somebody that's a little bit older.
Okay. I can see that. An older person. I can see that. So, do you ever find an older man to like 35 to 40?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Someone that don't know how to use TikTok and Instagram that well.
Listen, I think I never considered that. And I think that's a great idea. Like somebody that has money but's not in the know. They be like, you do what? How do you have, like, they'll be like, well, how do you have money?
I'm an accountant,
bruh. And then it's like Aaliyah's face, man.
I don't know if you got the joke.
I feel like I did, but I lost it.
So that's a TikTok joke.
Oh no, I definitely didn't get that. Nah.
So strippers on TikTok, they won't say that they're strippers. People will ask them what they do, especially like on TikTok. They'll be like, I'm an accountant.
Oh.
Because TikTok will flag their videos if they say they're a stripper.
When did they say that? Like, would they say in the video? Was it like a filter you have to put
like you would put a text there, or you would say that you're an accountant, but it would actually say stripper on the in the comment. but you won't say the word.
Oh, okay, got you. That's interesting. See, wow, TikTok is really, that's interesting. Wow. But yeah, that's what I think, and I think your idea is very. I can see that. I can see her again like an Aaliyah's face guy that's like older and just like don't know nothing, got money.
He could be attractive.
More money than her. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
He could tell her what to do.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Cause I was thinking like she had to get a celebrity, like somebody that's kind of good but not good. But yeah. Okay, Ken, you got some trouble now, man. I don't know what you're gonna do. She got a nice 40-year-old grown man, but she can still have kids too. But she wants to be married before she has kids. I don't know. That's too far down the line. But it is what it is.
Stay with him, but like that would be the ideal person to deal with in this situation.
That is very true. Wow. Yeah, that's great. All right. So next, what's the next topic? I had a conversation with a family member recently, and it was about therapy. I think therapy is definitely great. Melissa had her first therapy today. So yeah, I don't think he actually gave me what do you think about therapy?
I don't know what to think about it necessarily because like I said, I felt like today I did a lot of talking, and I feel like yeah, from what you said that it's mostly a lot of talking, but it's like I don't know if I'm doing it right.
You don't know if you're doing the talking right?
I don't know if I'm doing the therapy right. So I guess that speaks to me as a person.
I personally think that you did it right. I think therapy will be easier for you than it is me because I have to actively try to talk more because I'm analyzing my therapist when they're talking to me and I'm like, what? Why you put the A before the in that sentence? That's strange. And I think it's beneficial for me to be able to talk more freely because then they'll understand my situation more. So that's for me what I think. Was there something? What?
Yeah, I was just going.
Because I feel like our conversation we had afterwards, I think even though you were talking and a little talking that she did, I feel like you still were able to get something out of that conversation. Like you learned about you without her having to do anything. And I think that's kind of like the stereotype of therapist where it's like you talk the whole time and they go, huh, really? And you go, what? I never thought about it like that. They go, really? Oh my God, how did you know? Really? And then you leave there like, oh my God, how did that? I was,
bruh. That honestly, that's what happened. She was just like, So how would that person react? I'm like, they would react like this, and what's that? And I'm just like, I just kept going and going and going.
How's it feel after? Like, how does it actually feel when you were finished with the phone call?
Like I said, I felt like it ended too soon, in my opinion. Like I wish it could have went on for longer. I think we were on the phone for an hour. I feel like we could have talked more. Like dang. And I said we, like she was talking. So yeah, I did want it to go on for longer based off of what you and somebody else had told me. I thought that I was gonna be like read, like I was waiting for the read. I was waiting for her to be like, you are and this is what you need to do and this is why, but it was the first session. So I guess I have to wait and see what happens next week and the week after.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm very excited for Melissa's therapy sessions. Did you feel exhausted afterwards?
No.
I'm feeling exhausted after mine. Every time.
Really?
I feel like emotionally drained. Like I gotta like go to sleep every time. Like every time I finish, I feel like I feel like exhausted. Every single time.
I just felt like You want to know what it is? I think that I subconsciously put a weight on myself. Whether that's I make things I think things seem harder than they are, or everything's a crisis. And not necessarily, it doesn't directly connect to what we were talking to, but it's just like I'm not always messing up. I'm not always, doing things wrong. And I feel like that was more comforting to me than me getting off the phone and thinking about what I do wrong.
I get what you're saying. Because you were looking for her to tell you that you were doing wrong things.
I think I was.
And then she was like, "Oh, you dope." And he was like, "You're like witchcraft." It's like this is obviously witchcraft.
Yeah, I was waiting to hear the something.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. When you came back in here, right? I got that feeling because you called me as if it went wrong, but talked to me as if it went well. And I'm like, I don't know why you wanted it to be not good when you talked about it. You were like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know about this thing. How you guys do? I don't know. And it's like, you felt like you did it wrong.
Yeah, because I didn't get what I thought I was going to get from her. I thought she was going to tell me, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you need to fix. And that's not what happened. So I'm like, is it broken? What happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I think, me personally, I'm excited. I'm excited to see, what comes from these sessions. So, staying on the topic of therapy, I was having a conversation with someone in my family about therapy, and we came to the realization that we are both very similar, and we both do not express our emotions well at all. And that's something that I am working on right now, and just working on is trying to express my emotions. And for other people who are similar to me, who are listening to the podcast, this is what I told them. I said, the way that I am possibly interpreting my emotions now is by understanding that each emotion has a definition. So what are the words that make up this emotion? So what does love mean? Because even Melissa and I had this conversation earlier. If somebody asks me, do I love them? It's like, sure. Like, I guess. I don't know what that means to tell you yes. I can't do that. And I know a lot of people are also like that, where it's kind of like, it's like it's weird. It's like, it's more logical for us, where somebody may say, do you love me? And then we'll go, well, we go out all the time. I protect you from people who try to do things to you. I take you out on places. I rub your feet. I wash your hair. I do all these things. And then they'll go, but do you love me though? And then it's a disconnect between a person who's logical and then a person who's thinking about it from an emotional standpoint, because I'm giving you the definition of love and you're asking me the word. And the word that you're talking about is a feeling, and I'm talking about the action of doing these things. So that's something that we have in common. And for me, it comes down to learning the words, because if you're a logical person, you have to know the specific words to use, because I think two things happen. I think that once you use the words, the emotions come with those words. And I also think that once you use the words, the emotional words, the other person will then understand what you're trying to say. They'll get it. They'll go, oh, okay, I get it now. So, like I said, we were having this conversation and we came across a website, which I think is very interesting, right? So, this website is called, let's see. I'll put the link in the description. Website is called positivepsychology.com, right? So this, it was just an interesting article I was reading. Right, this one says, can you guess how many emotions a human can experience? And then the answer, I'll let you guys guess. I'll ask the question one more time. Can you guess how many emotions a human can experience? I'll give you some time to think about it. How many emotions can a human experience? Okay, so if you thought about it, right, and then just give me a random number. Just think of a random number. How many emotions? Okay. I can guarantee you got the wrong answer, because I don't think anybody ever thought about this. You know the answer?
I think so, yeah.
What number you remember? Don't say it all out. Just say it to me. Like, don't say it so they can hear you. Say it to me. Okay. So the answer that they have on here, 34,000 emotions, right? Now, I did not think there's that many. I thought it was like 12, right? Like, okay, you got anger, you got happiness, you got not happy, sadness, that's another one, love is another one, right? I'm at 5, and I'm like, it can't be, you can't tell me there's another 33,995 more of these. You can't tell me that, right? So I thought it was interesting. So I'm reading this article, right? And there's an emotional wheel that they have in the article to explain emotions. Now, I'm not going to get that deep into that part, because the thing that I want to bring up was, oh Lord, underneath the wheel. Okay, first of all, let me go to this part. There are 8 primary emotions that he identified as a person. I don't know who this person is, which are the basis for all others, are grouped into polar opposites, right? Here are the 8 primary emotions. You have joy and sadness, acceptance and disgust, fear and anger, surprise and anticipation, right? So now this is the part, to me, I was like, oh wow, there's the opposites that he has, right? So it says that sadness is the opposite of joy, fear is the opposite of anger, surprise is the opposite of anticipation, and trust is the opposite of disgust. Now that one hit home crazy for me, right? Because I'm like, if you don't trust somebody, are you disgusted with them? And I'm like, I would agree. I think I would agree. How you feel? Do you agree with that? If you don't, yeah, you're disgusted with them. Like if you lose trust with somebody.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the times I've lost trust, you look at somebody and you just like you like what is that? Like, how were you here existing like that, right? How, like, it's a crazy emotion to feel. Like I said, I felt disgust. I know one time in my life I felt disgust was I was talking to an ex or a previous girl I was talking to, I guess, and it was something happened. It wasn't like cheating necessarily, because I never actually found out that it was cheating, but it was very close. A lot of crazy things came up and stuff like that, right? And I just remember, even with the girl in college too, when you look at somebody after situations like that, it makes you just look at them like they're not even a person. Like, I remember I put it on my Instagram. There's a picture I posted a long time ago, and I wrote on there, I can't even look at you. Like, that's how crazy. I remember, I'm still gonna find it real quick. I guess I'll cut this part out. That shit was so crazy to me. Maybe I didn't post it, because I posted the picture, but I didn't. It's not what I thought it said. But
yeah, like an hour.
Okay. Yeah, bro. I posted this on my. Oh, bro. I posted on my page. Wow, that's kind of crazy.
What?
Just reading this post. It's a screenshot of a picture. Yeah. Oh, geez, that's That's
What did you post?
What?
What did you post?
You want me to read it?
Just, I guess, what's the gist? You said you're talking like it's crazy.
So I was looking for a post about when I was disgusted by her, and I thought I had said like I can look at you now, but it was something more so like I can look at you and be happy now. It wasn't. I didn't really reference the fact that I couldn't look at you anymore. But I found some other texts about self-improvement. That's what I would say. I would say self-improvement, and it's just, again, wasn't expecting that. So, but I was posting this on my page. What?
What are you talking about?
The situation that I'm talking about that I felt disgusted by, I wrote it out on my notes and posted it on my Instagram story. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 screenshots. Do you see it? It's 4 screenshots. Bruh, that's crazy. That's on my page? That's wild. Yeah, listen, man, that's are you reading it? That wasn't a yes. The eyebrow just went up. I'll let you finish, and then you could let me know what you think. Or I'll keep going, and then you come back to you when you're done with that. So I also have some words on here. I don't know if I ever brought them up before. I think I did, but I don't. Either way, I'm gonna bring them up today, and this will be the last time I bring these words up. This picture I found from EnglishStudyHere.com. It has like categories of emotions: confusion, sad, strong, happy, anger, and energized. So for people who are like myself, 3 words for confusion would be tense, pessimistic, and unsure. 3 words for sad that you can use will be frustrated, weepy, and mournful. 3 words for strong are determined, bold, and confident. 3 words for happy are marvelous, enthusiastic, and loving. 3 words for anger are bitter, livid, and furious. And then 3 words for energized are refreshed, invigorated, and focused. And what I was talking to my family member about was, or one of the things I suggested was trying to use these words in a sentence. Like, think of a moment you had in your life and then try and look up emotional words and try and write out how you feel about that situation with those emotional words. So that's something that I think would be very helpful. Okay, so Melissa has finished reading the text messages that were on my Instagram. What do you think about those messages? Because I don't know what they say. I didn't read the screenshots.
Because in the messages you said that you don't believe in love, you just believe in the continuous progression of both people in the relationship.
Can you say it one more time?
So in the message you said that you don't believe in love, you believe in the continuous progression of both people in the relationship.
That's deep. Okay, what does that mean?
Wondering if this is her fault. Like, you dance.
I don't know.
Did you have that outlook before?
I didn't really start having an outlook until college. Once college happened, I pretty much lost all hope in females, and then once I started to learn the game, it got even worse. Because I was like, oh, like I thought she was a one-off, but no, this is very common. This is like how women are. And then at that point, I was like, oh, okay, this is not what people say it is.
And you still feel like that to this day?
Like what?
However you feel.
Which is what?
About what you just said. Like you said that you learned that this is how you are around college. Like after college.
More what I'm saying is around college is when I realized that love is not real. Because love is unimportant because loving somebody changes nothing. It doesn't mean they won't hurt you, cheat on you, lie, steal from you, murder you. It doesn't mean any of those things. So it's like, you may feel love, but how much weight is there on that?
That was the question I had.
Okay. Listen, I think that's interesting that I said that. I think it's wild that I posted that.
You are a wild person.
Bruh, I posted that?
Listen, I'm hungry. Are you?
Yeah, facts. Listen, I didn't know there was that much on there. Like, I knew I posted, like, my life, but I didn't know that was on there. So that took me back. That took me back.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You're not going to take it down, so.
I'm not, but I wasn't expecting to see that, Melissa. Okay. I thought I was just going to see, like, a long post.
No.
So. Oh, yeah, so I gave you the words. This is the last thing about the therapy that I think is very important. I'm waiting to hear back from them, because they were given what is it called? They were given a task to fulfill, and the task to fulfill is writing down your boundaries. Right now, you may think, because I thought that I knew what boundaries were or what my boundaries are. But when they were telling me what the therapist told them, they said, okay, figure out what your emotional boundaries are, what your physical boundaries are, what your sexual boundaries are, what your intellectual boundaries are, what your financial boundaries are. And I'm like, I didn't even know there's boundaries for those things. I've never even thought about that. And that's what I'm not going to ask you here, but like sexual boundaries. Have you thought about those before? Fine. Whatever. I feel like that's not true, but whatever. I'm gonna cut out for you. But I feel like that's not true. I feel like you be with the, maybe not with the, but with the. So, yeah. So that's something I want to look at. I'm gonna try and, when I hear back from them, they'll have, more word on that, and then I also will have my whatever I look up myself, because that's interesting. I never thought about those boundaries. Like, I mean, I know what I don't like, obviously, but like, what is a financial boundary?
Can't be broke.
But does that mean like I won't spend money on somebody? Like, my boundary is not buying you weed, or is it like I don't spend more than $10?
Both.
So that's interesting. But then let's see.
Lending money might be a boundary.
Lending money also might be a boundary, or lending money for certain. That's what I'm saying. Like, a boundary, like how much money I'm going to spend on my friends every month. I'm only going to spend $25 a month on my friends. That's a boundary. And then if you tell them that and they say, well, bro, I need $25 more than that, you go, wow, you're going to cross my financial boundary. And I think intellectual boundary would be like calling somebody stupid. That's what I think personally. I don't know, but that's my assumption. My beautiful girlfriend, who I love so much, she got a manicure and pedicure, and she got waxed. Now, the waxing part was not the best. She went to a white woman in Jamaica, Queens, to get a waxing, who only did her legs. So I don't really know how the waxing game goes. So I don't know who should be doing waxing, but I feel like you don't want to. This is my assumption. You don't want to get waxed at the same place. No, I don't say that. I feel like there should be a dedicated waxing situation. Like, they should do all the waxing things, and then if they also have nails. But then I feel like if you go to a place that has all the dedicated waxing, they're probably gonna do trash nails. Cause like, you don't go to a spa and get your nails done.
You can, depending on where you're going.
Right, but you could get a wax too. Where you going? It ain't work out.
It's bruh. I think that. No, because there's people that will go get their eyebrows waxed or go get something waxed at the same place that get their nails done. Like, it's not uncommon.
But who? And what they?
Like, your eyebrows is more common. I don't know if they'll get the legs.
That's a bikini wax. That's what I'm saying. A bikini eyebrow is the same as your fingernails. They do the same places.
Yeah.
You can get your butthole waxed the same place you're gonna get your eyebrows tweezed. I don't know if it's the same thing.
Bruh, listen. I did not want to go on a big excursion, on a big adventure. Obviously, I did this to myself. I thought I wanted to get everything done. I just wanted to get everything done. Now I know I'm gonna have to go to a dedicated place. Then I'm gonna have to go. Remember, I don't got a car. I have to walk to all these places.
Facts.
So after I get my pussy pulled, now I gotta go.
I'll go with you and we both get waxed.
So it's like it's a lot. It's a lot to do. And then I didn't want to go to Manhattan.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I felt like you are adamant about not being in Jamaica for any type of services.
Bruh, I thought maybe this one time.
With your body?
You want to know what it is?
What?
My period was about to start, so I was already feeling off. I didn't want to have to travel all the way over there to go do. And then I was embarrassed.
Why?
I was embarrassed because I started biting my nails again.
On the way there?
No, my nails like.
Oh,
I didn't want to go to the nail lady that always does my nails because I started biting them again. She's gonna say something. She's gonna be like, again, you biting them again? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, so that's okay. That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, because I'm like, you don't even want to go to the bank in Jamaica, and you went. You decided that you was gonna go and get somebody to wax your body and do your nails.
Bro, I wanted to have like a one-off situation where I just it's cheap. I'm gonna get it done real quick, and then once my nails grow from being in the tips, then I could go back to my nail lady and be like, "Hi, I just want to do my nails."
Do you remember you told me that I shouldn't buy my iPhone over here because it's near Jamaica Avenue? And you decide you're gonna get a manicure, a pedicure, and your legs waxed? Okay.
Just because I feel like the services, the services are better in Manhattan.
Really? Really? Oh, really? And you decided to choose?
Bruh, I will never forget. I think it's crazy how much the difference is. Phone. I was working by my Starbucks. That's on 5th Avenue. Mm-hmm. No, it's on 6th Avenue. And like 50 something, so it's in Midtown. When I went to go change my phone near my job, they let me take both phones out the store. They let me take the new phone and then said I could bring back they said I could transfer the data in the comfort of my own home, return it whenever I'm ready. If not, they gonna bill me for it anyways, or I could send it in the mail if I didn't feel like coming back in the store. I'm like, what? Over here, I got my phone changed over here thinking I could do the same thing. They had me sit in that slow ass Wi-Fi to transfer my data over. It took me 3 hours just to do it when I could have did it in my house. So
did you ask them to go home? Is that
I think I did, and they looked at me like I was
You want to do what? You think we stupid? You think they'll let you leave here with your phone and come? Okay, all right. Okay.
Like, that's how I'm like, I'd rather be over there where they let me take my phone, bring it back. Like, I don't want you to charge me either way. Your iPhone costs $800,000.
We'll see if you feel the same way about getting a wax next time. So like I said, Melissa is finally. Listen, I don't know. I don't know why she be doing it by her nails and her toes and everything else. Because when I see her with nails done, I'll be on her ass. I'll be on it like that's how I be feeling every time. And she gets them and she be like, "Oh, I look sexy. I look pretty." She be in the mirror looking, and I'm like, we both be looking at you like, "Damn, you a snack," and then you bite your nails off. And I be like, I don't understand why. I don't understand. Snack. I be looking at her like, nails be. She got blue nails. I be like,
Oh, you like them? The color. I thought we were talking about the shape.
Both. I don't listen. Here's my thing. When it comes to colors, I don't think I've ever not liked a color on your nails. I can't think of one. Maybe if you got honestly, I can't think.
I've never had color.
You've always had color, Melissa. You've had mad colors on your nails. You've always had colors on your nails, whether they be tips or not. You've colored your nails different colors. Yeah. So I have once in my life seen a color I did not like, but I don't remember what color it was. And I think it just comes down to how you wear them. So you could wear any color, like a nude or a brown or whatever, as long as you know how to finesse it. Either way, I'll be looking at her like, touch me with your fingers. Touch me. Touch me. Right? I'll be looking. And then when she start biting them, I'm like, don't touch me. Don't touch me with those fingers. So I guess I'm very happy. Her nails are gonna grow back, and I'm thinking, all right, here's the plan. Here's my plan. If I could keep Melissa inside of some tips for like the next 55 years, right? That means she will never bite her nails again because she won't have nails to bite till you just have the tips on. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna buy her, pay for manicure, pedicure for the next 50 years, so you don't have time to bite it. I'm like, oh, your nails, tips. Come on, we're going back to woo, yay, woo. Because I can't I can't. My body will not allow me to deal with it. So I love her, but
what? You don't believe in love?
I don't. But I believe in the continuous progression of self-improvement in a relationship. So, and you wanna know what's funny too about that you said that? Because when you went to your when you went out to your therapy, right? I was thinking about, because you asked me, how do I show love? And I'm like, damn, I don't have an answer for that. Like, I really don't know. And I think that's terrible. And then when you was outside, I was like, I feel love. One of the ways, well, you know how I feel. You know how I feel.
Continue.
I was gonna say, when you're doing better for yourself, those things make me feel good. And it's weird. That's one of the times, other than, you know what I'm saying, that's when I feel like I want to do all the things that you would categorize as love. I feel like doing that when I see you like doing stuff, when you be chilling, when you're happy. I be like, oh yeah, let me. What you want me to do? You want me to rub her feet? You want me to rub her back? You want me to give her a kiss on the cheek? What you want? What you want to do? You want to go walk somewhere? You want to go do something? That's how we feeling. And I don't really know what that means, but I know that when I see that, that's when I feel that. So, yeah, but I don't know what to do with that. That's just information that's out there. Another bullet point is something I was realizing over the last week. When a problem comes up, guys want solutions and girls want empathy and reassurance, right? And that is a huge disconnect between men and women in terms of figuring out solutions. And I actually got a text today, and it's similar to that, which is actually kind of funny. Is you should ask people when they tell you something, do you need information or affirmation? That's a bar. Okay, that's a bar. Okay, when somebody comes to you with a story, you gotta ask them, do you want my information or do you want my affirmation? Because I can give you my affirmation and you won't hear no solutions from me, just complete affirmations. But if you want my information, you about to get this raw. You about to get this raw info. No lube, nothing. So, but that's a life update. It ran kind of long for several reasons, because it is what it is. That's why it's called the Playback Project Podcast, and we can do what we want because it's our podcast. So, can you scroll down? I'm gonna do bullet. What do they call those things? I'm gonna do a speed round for the episode Playback. I did not say this last week in the podcast, and I talked about us going to the storage or the FedEx places or whatever. We went to UPS 2 times, like in that same day. We went to UPS, and then once they told us no because they were closing, we had to go to the Staples, and then they closed, and then we went to FedEx, and then the next day we went to UPS. We went to Staples again twice, and then went to FedEx again. We went to, I didn't say this last week. We went to drop-off locations. If I had to add them up, probably like 7 or 8. Like, we went to, like, because some of them, they didn't allow us to leave the stuff in there. The other ones were closing, and they was too big, stuff like that. I have been playing with the idea of saying the instead of the, because I think if I say the, I have not done it all episode, because I'm going to try to remember that. I think that will help me to slow down my sentences and be able to kind of have an ending when I'm talking. So for the rest of the podcast, I'm going to try doing that. Ooh, that was good. Okay, I'm gonna try that. See, I think that helps. I realize it's better to film during the day because I feel like my intro does not sound as long. It might be because I have more energy. We're shooting kind of late right now, but the sun is still up. But I think according to my sister, she told me that I shoot better I sound better in the morning, and I'm a morning person. So I want to see how the podcast sounds when I shoot it at like 11 o'clock. I started talking fast at the end of the topics last week. That's something that I have to keep into account, that it sounds better when I talk slower. throughout the podcast, but I think it's the intro being a little bit faster is good. But I have to remember, even when I get excited about certain topics, I have to always be cognizant of not speaking too fast, or at least finishing my sentences or my thoughts. And can you scroll up? Something else I was looking at recently, they said that there's the vaccine that's approved by, is it Pfizer?
I think so.
Is not the vaccine that everybody's been getting. So I don't know if people know that. I do not know if people know that or not. That's what I've been hearing on the streets. So there's a name for it too, like Communa Lacey or something like that. That isn't the same vaccine that people have been getting this whole time. So, and I think it's different. So be aware of that. Be aware of why it's different, why they pushing it as if it's the same one. So now people will think that because they got the Pfizer, they were safe because it's now FDA approved, but you didn't get that one. Also, just because FDA approved don't mean it's safe. So I'm not jacking the whole, oh my God, FDA approved it, now we're good to go. Listen, to me, I like to do my own research, and I personally feel like I'm over it. I'm completely over it. You can only lie to me so many times before I'm like, I just don't believe nothing you say. And it could be a detriment to myself, but I'm not going to put my hands in a person I'm not going to put my life in the hands of a person who has continuously lied and tried to harm me. I don't care. I'll take my chances myself. That's crazy. Like, it's insane. Bruh, look at any story you ever heard from the news or it's usually a lie. It's usually a lie. You know how you could, the quickest way you could find a lie is ask somebody who's not from this country what they think about this country and what they thought before they got here. They're gonna be like, yeah, I thought it was gonna be like this. You were lied to. You know how many people are from Africa, Jamaica, different countries and islands are like, yeah, man, I always thought that America was gonna be more, I don't know, just like better. It don't really seem like what I thought it was on TV, because they lie. They're liars. So I just don't trust liars personally. Whatever you want to do, you can trust them, but I don't. So there's a Bloomberg article on COVID. I'll probably put the link in the description below, possibly. And then the clip, I posted it. I had said, did I tell you about that when I watched the clip? I think I did. I had said yes to something else and not to you, what you were saying to me. Yeah, I think we talked about that. Yeah. So yeah, that's in the video also. So yeah, can you scroll down? And then my Donovan's question for the day, which I may or may not have brought up in the past. I don't remember, but I'm asking it today. Should I ask two questions? I'm asking one, do the next one for next week. Why do you think the government allows religious exemptions for the vaccine? The government has said the vaccine is safe, everybody should get it, and they allow people whose religion it goes against to not get it. Why do you think they do that? I have my reason. Can you keep scrolling down? All right, so that's it for today. It was a pretty chill episode, very therapy heavy. I think that's very important, So we're gonna keep going with that therapy thing. And one thing before I get to the outro, I would like for us to find, now you don't got no excuses to run away, Melissa. We are going out once a week with no phones and nothing. So you're gonna figure out you're gonna get this intimacy. You're gonna get it. You're gonna figure out you're gonna get it, and you're gonna, whether you like it or not, it's coming. So figure out what you want to do. If you have not already, go check out our social medias. Mine is Donivan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and you have my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. We have 6 different projects on this side. All right, we got the food project, the music project, the clothing project, the fitness project, the Sports Project, and the Bamboo Project podcast, which you just finished listening to right now. You know what it is, hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. We going up all year, you know the vibes. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.